I think that's, yeah. So she wanted to come, but yeah, so we
Well, the ball has really gotten going now, hasn't it, Madame?
It can get going and go for all I care. It bores me until I don't know whether to yawn or to yelp. I was never fond of dancing, and since I've been screwed to this chair, it looks more than ever like the hopping of kangaroos. You were never fond of it either, have you?
I was 20, once upon a time.
When, for goodness sake? You never looked any different to me.
Oh, yes, I was, Madame. I was young when I was with the Baron and the Baroness before I came here.
Ah, well, you may have thought so. You're a nice girl, Capulet, but you know just as well as I do, you're plain. And no one who is plain could have ever been 20.
A heart beats in my breast all the same, Madame.
My good soul, a heart with no face is more bother than anything else put together. Let's talk no more about it. You've been quite happy, Capulet, without a face. You've been respected, and you've been appreciated. What could be nicer than that?
On evenings like this, when there's music and young people dancing under the chandeliers, I feel something indescribable in the air.
Then don't attempt to describe it. It is much too late. You really have nothing to grumble about. A dull, and besides, there's always the life to come. A dull life in this world is a splendid recommendation for the next.
Oh, Madame.
You'll be hobnobbing with the blessed, while I am roasting over a slow fire for 2, maybe 3,000 years. Perhaps it won't seem so long.
God's mercy is infinite, Madame.
Certainly, but he must abide by what he says, you know, unless the just like you, who have staked everything on it, would feel so badly let down. Suppose a rumor started circulating among the sheep that the goats would be pardoned as well. They'd use such bad language that they get themselves damned on the spot. Don't you think that's rather comic?
Oh, you can't really think that, Madame.
Why not? I can think anything I like. It's all I have left to do. Push me near the door, where I can see the frisking of little fools. Is that Romanville's niece dancing with my nephew?
Yes, Madame.
She has such an unusual grace, the only one truly being herself. How is it Romanville has never brought her here before?
She's so graceful. Really, she is. She has, what shall I say?
Say whatever you care to, dear. I am not listening. You know what I think? I think we need some livening up this evening. What can you think to amuse us?
A cotillion?
A cotillion. That is so like you. You couldn't have suggested anything sillier than the ball itself. Look at them, twirling and twiddling. They think they're enjoying themselves, but all they're doing is twizzling their vain little heads. The world isn't amusing anymore. It's about time I left it. The fabulous evenings I've known in 1892, Capulet, in Buritz. The Duke of Medina Solar was out of this world in love with the Countess Prunella. You couldn't guess what he did next. They were having a public assembly, or a dot it used to be called. And the Duke and everyone was to come in green. Well, the Duke came in yellow. It was the color of his mistress's eyes. But no one was to know that. Then, and...
Yes, of course. But one doesn't know. Really, one doesn't. Romantic things may be going on here at this very moment.
At this ball? Dear Capulet, you should go and lie down.
Perhaps so, but perhaps not so. Suppose there was a young, rich, handsome man, spellbound with love, who had smuggled his loved one into the ball. But I have said too much. I promised I wouldn't breathe a word.
Why should I suppose there is such a person?
And the young man, an old friend, a dear, dear friend, given up for dead, suddenly coming back like the bluebells in May. It's really wonderful. It really is. To suddenly take part in a fairy story.
Bluebells? Fairy story? Dear Capulet, I don't know what you're talking about.
To think the world is still so colorful, Madame. It really is. Love can still be stronger than social barriers, careless of scandal, as pure as death. There can still be the desperate plot, the impersonation, Madame, and the apprehensive mother, hiding herself away and watching her child's triumph without ever... Oh, I can't stop the tears, Madame. I really can't. I'm so sorry.
Suppose you explain yourself, Capulet, instead of watering my hair. What impersonation? What apprehensive mother?
Oh, I've said too much. I promised I wouldn't breathe a word.
Promised whom?
It's a secret, Madame. The diamond at the bottom of the mine, she loves him. He worships her. She is poor. He brings her here disguised. It's really like a fairy story. It really is, isn't it?
She, he, who are these people?
Everyone is either whispering her name or asking who she is. She moves among them like a queen, her evening of triumph. And her mother played the treble, and I played the bass. All those years ago.
Capulet!
Oh, I'm so sorry, Madame. Do forgive me, it's all too much.
Capulet, you've been my companion for 20 years. And although you haven't said anything that amused me, I've always been able to understand you. At last, you finally interest me, and I'm not able to understand a word. Either you explain yourself, or you leave my service.
I promised I wouldn't breathe a word. I'd rather die in poverty. I'd rather you killed me.
I wouldn't dream of it. I'm used to being obeyed without having to kill people. And besides, I always give you my old clothes. Don't I deserve a little consideration?
I know that, Madame. I'm being torn apart by the two duties. Oh, Madame, we were such friends. We both played on the same piano. Such happy days. I thought she was dead, and then I found her again. She told me she belonged to the orchestra, but they were all men. I was astonished. Then she confided in me and swore me to secrecy. All about the mad love of this young man for her daughter, and the stratagem of a good, kind friend.
What good, kind friend?
Monsieur Guy Charles Romanville. Such a good, kind man.
What has he done?
His niece is not his niece. Love snaps his fingers. A man who's close to you. But I've said too much. I promised I wouldn't breathe a word.
Promised whom?
My dearest friend. I promised on the days of our duets. So better to die. Oh, Madame, the violins are like a strong wine to me.
So I've noticed, mon ami. Push me to my room, where I shan't hear them any longer, and tell me the rest.
You're so good, Madame. A word from you, and all the obstacles will evaporate.
Well, we'll see about that. Trundle me off, and explain things without falling over yourself. You were saying that Romanville's niece
is not his niece. She's your nephew's loved one. He wanted her to be the belle of the ball.
My nephew? Which nephew?
For her.
Frederick, out with it, Capulet!
Mr. Hugo. But I said too much. I promised I wouldn't breathe a word.
They've put me in a room overlooking the park, facing direct north. It's most unkind, and they've moved all my things in the middle of the afternoon without even telling me. They told me they couldn't find me, but they're not going to make me believe that. I never left the billiard room. The reason they couldn't find me was because they didn't want to find me.
And then who's got your room?
Romanville's niece, the girl with the lovely eyes. But that's only the excuse. The real reason is because he saw us together yesterday, and he wants to have me further away from you.
Nonsense. He would have to explain it all to my aunt. You mustn't be idiotic. And how do you know she has lovely eyes?
Who, dear heart?
This niece of Romanville's.
Have I said so?
Now be careful, Patrice. I don't like competitors. And if Monsieur Schmann has seen us together and feels like braiding you, I shall quite understand. Frankly, Patrice, I should be very disappointed if he hasn't. Don't you agree?
I don't know. I suppose...
I may deceive Monsieur Schmann, but I like to think well of him. The man I love must be noble and courageous, and the man I deceive must be noble and courageous too. It gives life a kind of dignity which is most pleasing. Surely you, Patrice, so proud and susceptible, would be terribly upset if you didn't give a savage cry of uncontrollable jealousy.
Well, Dorothy, I...
Exactly. Men of your caliber wouldn't want a woman who isn't fiercely loved already. Creatures such as ourselves have no patience with the lukewarm. We blaze. Other people may be born to live, but we're on earth to blaze.
Yes, Dorothy.
And it's very nice of us to bother about him at all. Suppose he does ruin us? What fun it would be to be poor. As long as one was excessively poor, anything in excess is most exhilarating.
Yes, Dorothy.
Our squalor would seem like a great dark poem, wouldn't it, Patrice?
Very dark.
How amusing it should be. I should wash the dishes and clean the flues, whatever that may be, and bake and brew. How beautifully I should brew. I must ask Rosetta Stewart to make me some affecting little aprons. There is no one else, you know, who quite understands my style. And I shall set to work with my tiny dustpan and my tiny broom, and you will work in a factory. You will come home in the evening nearly dead with fatigue and smelling dreadfully. It will be absolutely delicious. And I shall wash you down, my dear, from head to foot with a tiny sponge. It's beautiful to be poor, Patrice.
Beautiful?
Let him come. What is he waiting for? His money is burning my fingers. I shall
He's here. Do be careful.
Don't be such a coward, Patrice.
I don't like you. I've never liked you. I'm never likely to like you.
What?
I'm only with you out of sheer necessity. It's obvious you bore me. Anyone can see that I'm yawning.
Patrice, don't dare to yawn. Take my arm. We'll go away, dancing as ostentatiously as possible.
You're crazy.
When a bull is drowsy, one stirs it up with a banderia. Have you ever seen a bull fight, dear friend?
Yes, dear friend, but I didn't like it very much.
Don't look as though you've seen him. We know he knows.
Yes, Dorothy, but perhaps he doesn't know. Don't you think that by seeming to know we know he knows, we run the risk of making him know?
My friend,
Sir.
the two people walking along the terrace there, they be making for the greenhouses, I suppose?
Yes, but if you're hoping to catch up with the lady and gentleman, sir, never mind. Would you care to give me order for supper?
Noodles,
Without butter?
and without salt. You were saying, my friend, if I walk down those steps there, I get to the orchards through the greenhouses, correct?
Yes, but if you're hoping to catch up with them, I take the liberty to tell you that I've been watching them as you were giving me your order for supper, sir, and they've come back into the house by the small door at the end of the terrace. The lady and gentleman have gone back in the house by the little door.
I see.
No doubt the lady and gentleman wish to tidy up their persons, as it were.
No doubt, yes.
Without butter?
And without salt.
I hope you'll forgive me.
For what, mademoiselle?
I must seem to be following you. I happened to come in here and saw that you were here before me.
Oh, yes, indeed.
I'm enjoying the evening very much.
Of course. That's a very pretty dress you're wearing.
Thank you. Do you believe in them, I wonder?
Believe in them?
In ghosts?
A little. Why?
You look as though you might be your brother's ghost. Made very sad by something.
It's what I am.
You're young, you're handsome, you're rich. Could you possibly have to make you sad?
Being handsome, as you call it, being young and rich, and nothing to be gained by it. Will you excuse me if I leave you now?
Yes, of course.
That was perfect!
I didn't know what to say with him. I felt very shy.
Excellent!
I wonder why I'm always at his elbow and why I keep trying to speak with him.
That's just what I want!
I can't do it anymore.
It's not yet past midnight, and you have a duty till dawn. Up you get. You're a kindly creature, and this is a kindly action. I can promise you won't regret it. Yes, look at him just as you're looking at me now. You're an astonishing actress. Where did you learn that look of deep regard?
It's my own.
Splendid! Turn it on Frederick from now to morning, and he couldn't help but be moved by it.
It may be different when it's turned on him.
Something in the same line will do. Poor little Frederick. He isn't used to being given pretty looks. He's coming back. It looks like he wants to talk to you after all. Compose yourself and use your imagination. I shall be listening. My brother was looking for you just now.
Oh, was he?
Usually when my brother is looking for a girl, she knows it.
Oh, I don't know.
He's very good looking, don't you think?
Yes, very.
We're like as two blades of grass. But it's only the men who seem to get us confused. Women always seem to know which is which. How do they do it?
I don't know.
Perhaps it's because he doesn't look at them? It's a very pretty dress you're wearing.
Isn't it? You know, he's not only good looking.
Who?
Your brother.
No. He's also very intelligent, much more so than I. And very brave, completely fearless, always ready to shoot the rapids or put his hand in the fire. But there's one thing he couldn't ever do, not for any length of time, for any day.
You couldn't be in love. And perhaps that's why they love him. He's very hard, but also very kind.
He's very fond of you. He wouldn't like to see you hurt.
It would irritate him. It's not so much he's very fond of me. It would annoy him to see me unhappy. It annoys him to see anyone unhappy. Particularly unhappy in love. Honestly, he's looking for you. And if I come across him in my searches, should I tell him where you are?
No, thank you, but please don't.
He's very good company, much more so than I am.
I like being with you. Please stay.
Oh, how sad it all is.
How sad all what is?
What I'm going to say isn't very polite. Perhaps it's impolite, though I don't want to be impolite. But if the girl I'm looking for so unsuccessfully had said what you have just said, I might very well have died from happiness.
And it's as well I was the one who said it. It wasn't the least impolite. I know how you feel only too well.
Thank you for your understanding. But forgive me all the same. And forgive me if I must go now.
Certainly.
Goodbye.
Bye.
No, no, no. I didn't bring you here for that.
What have I done?
Sign and hinting you'd rather be with someone else. You're paid to act a part, my dear, so you should try to do it well, and without being ashamed of it. It's a serious job, so you should try to do it well.
Please, don't go on.
Why?
You went on talking to me in that voice, I should cry.
Now that really would be a good idea. I wouldn't have suggested it myself. Manufactured tears always look a bit grotesque. But if you'll cry naturally, excellent! My dear little brother will founder at once.
I haven't to a heart.
Because my brother has too much. We were born at the same time, and things were divided between us. This and that to me, a heart to him.
But you must be able to see that I'm unhappy.
Splendidly. You have a way of being unhappy that would fetch tears out of a rock. Have you a twin sister by chance without a heart?
I can't bear you.
It's a very good thing you can't. Say that to him and swim away with him in a flood of sympathy. That's just what I want.
You don't suppose I'm doing what I'm told this evening for the stress and the fee for dancing?
My pretty one, I thought nothing so unpleasant.
I'm not interested in your brother, or in curing him, or in looking well dressed, or in having men look at me. Men have looked at me before, even when I wasn't dressed well. Do you think that's amusing?
Don't hold back the tears anymore. Let yourself go. Cry, 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 my dear! There, you see how easy it is?
We're not rather clever.
Ah, Isabel, dear Isabel, I suffer too. I die as well.
What are you doing?
My brother is coming towards us, and I want him to see me at your feet.
Oh, this is dreadful.
Ah, Isabel, my heart is in full flood. I'm drowning in it. Is he coming towards us?
Yes, oh, please get up.
Now's the time. All or nothing. Ah, I'd better kiss you.
Why did you say all well?
You must forgive me. A kiss was necessary. Say to him, Frederick, it's you I love.
No, please, don't make me say I love him. I don't. I love you.
Are you crying?
Oh, yes.
You ought to be happy. My brother kissed you. Usually when that happens, the girl is blushing and dancing like fire. But you are pale and you're crying.
Yes.
Don't be unhappy. One unhappy person at a party is enough. And I don't know how it is, but I should hate it if you were sad as well.
Please, let me alone.
I have something to tell you. I know it's no consolation to hear of other people's troubles, but it's something I've been certain about since yesterday. She wanted to be engaged to me because she couldn't be engaged to my brother. She said to herself, if I can't have him, I'll take his double.
If that were true, it would be shameful.
No, lucky, really. Otherwise, she never would have chosen me at all. And anyway, I'm used to it. When we were little, and my brother was naughty, and the governess couldn't find him, she'd punish me instead. Life always comes to me absent-mindedly.
You as well.
Why do you say you as well? You couldn't possibly know. I don't mean to pay you an empty compliment. This is hardly the time. But it's just, I'm certain you can never be mistaken for anyone else.
It wasn't because of your brother that I was crying.
No?
No, it was because of you.
Because of me.
Yes. Frederick, it's you I love.
Oh, That was perfect. Though you needn't have him run away like that. That's the first time anyone's told him they loved him. You've made him walk with quite a swagger. Let's make things even brisker. A pinch of jealousy while the blood's on the simmer. A third young man is in love with you.
Young man.
That's my business. I shall find you one. Furious, because I never leave your side. He challenges me to a fight, and we choose our weapons.
You're mad.
Imagine it. A duel in the spinney by moonlight, with the sound of conversations at supper disrupted by the sound of pistol shots. They stop the orchestra. They all troop into the park with their lanterns and hurricane lamps, looking for the corpse. And then your wits crazed with love. You do thoroughly understand that you're crazed with love, don't you, Isabel? You jump into the lake. You swim, I imagine. Ah, it's no matter. The lake's no depth and you've got feet. And I shall be there. I shall drag you back to land and lay you streaming with the water on the grass by his feet and say to him, there, you did this. And if he doesn't love you then, well, he's got more resistance than I have. You're looking rather dubious. Don't you enjoy bathing? I'll trouble your feet. I'll buy you another dress. Be a good girl now and agree to it. I'm having so much fun tonight, and it's not often I do.
Frederick!
Hugo, if you please.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Hugo is the one that doesn't blush. Remember that. You may find it useful. Are you looking for him?
I thought it was Frederick with that girl in his arms. As it was you, it's different. I apologize. Have you seen him?
Of course. Everyone seems to have seen him except you. He wanders like a soul in pain through this desert of gaiety. Why? Are you wanting to satisfy yourself in that you've well and truly broken his heart this evening?
I don't want to break anyone's heart. It wouldn't amuse me at all. By the way, when I was in the park yesterday, one of you kissed me. And Frederick swears it wasn't him. I lied so he shouldn't be upset, but it must have been you. It's the kind of joke I detest.
Yesterday in the park. At what time?
Don't pretend not to remember, Hugo. After dinner.
After dinner? You've made a mistake. I was playing billiards with Patrice Bombay.
Frederick swears it wasn't him.
I can only suppose it was yet another son of Adam making the most of some vague resemblance to us.
You're wrong with your brother's feelings, Hugo. It's too cruel. Even if you loved me, even if your love for me were too strong to control, but it's not too strong to control, is it?
You've put me in an impossible situation, Diana, and I'm obliged to say, no.
I hate you!
You as well. I'm not very popular this evening. Have you seen Patrice Bombay? I gather he's looking everywhere for me. It's funny, but he didn't take to finding me in that girl's arms either. It appears he's mad about her. Though, I should have guessed. It seems everyone is. And I admit, she's rather enchanting. And she's wearing a very pretty dress, moreover. Don't you find it so? Well, goodbye. Shall I send Frederick to you?
Thank you. I'll find him myself. Father!
Well, dear.
Did you hear him? Did you hear how he was mocking me?
No, I didn't.
Really, things are going so wrong, you'd think we had no money at all. Please be so good as to make me happy again. At once.
You said you wanted this boy Frederick, and I bought him for you. Is he trying to get out of it?
You didn't buy him for me. He loves me. But his brother is laughing at me.
I can't buy you both of them. Not because I'm not rich enough, but because it isn't the custom. Marry whichever you prefer.
You're not rich enough to buy me the one I prefer. That's why I took the other one.
Not rich enough! Don't put me in a rage!
Well, look what's happening to me. And it's Hugo who's making it happen. Deliberately. I'm certain. I'm certain he brought this girl here to make Frederick lose interest in me. And Hugo, who never looks at anybody, the cold, impersonal Hugo, never takes his eyes off her. I should begin to think I wasn't here at all, except everyone has such an air of not looking at me that I know I must be. It's bad enough to be looked at as though you weren't there, but it's terrible, terrible not to be looked at as though you were. So please, set about making me happy again.
But who is this girl? I can do almost nothing with a young girl.
Romanville's niece.
Which is Romanville?
He's the one who looks as though he's gone on a horse to catch butterflies.
Ah, I see. But where does his money come from?
He's a company director, like all the men here.
What does he seem to be in? Steel, nuts, emulsion, creosote, zinc, aluminum, tires, bijouterie, sewing...
I think he said something about pig iron.
Pig iron! Lead me to him. What do you want me to make him do, my darling girl? Do you want me to make him send her away at the height of the ball?
Oh, do you think you can?
I've got them all in the palm of my hand. I lift a finger and their incomes are only half as much.
I'm afraid it's impossible, Father.
My dear, if he has a halfpenny in pig iron, nothing is impossible.
Sir!
Sir?
I was looking for you.
For me?
Yes, I have to speak with you.
About what?
You were in the park yesterday with Lady Dorothy India, my cousin.
Possibly.
You were having a rather heated discussion.
On quite general terms, if I remember correctly.
I don't doubt it. But at one moment, you must have outgeneraled yourself. The lady slapped your face.
Mine, sir?
This one?
You're mistaken, sir.
No, sir.
That is to say, the lady may have struck me, but that's no reason for you to think what you appear to be thinking.
What do I appear to be thinking?
After all, a slap on the cheek isn't always a sign of an understanding between a man and a woman.
Certainly not.
One slaps the most casual acquaintances, even complete strangers. It signifies absolutely nothing. If I were to suddenly turn and strike you now, would you deduce from this that we were on amorous terms?
I would protect myself from that to the death.
Oh. Well, then may I ask why you were attempting to provoke me? Hints, sighs, winks, chuckles, which you try to camouflage with cigar smoke? I wasn't fooled yesterday on the terrace. Oh no, you didn't fool me for a moment.
You're very clairvoyant.
I can't go on with this a moment longer.
That's just what I wanted you to say. Let's speak over this like the nice fellows we are. Between you and me and the bedpost, this long drawn-out romance with my mad cousin is boring you to desperation. Admit it.
I never said so.
Naturally not. But let's speak frankly, shall we? If Messerschmann gets to know she's your paramour...
Don't say that! Don't even mention it!
He'll break your neck!
I've been enduring this for 2 years. 24 months. 112 nerve-wracking weeks. 728 days.
Never mind that, it'll all be over this evening.
What exactly do you mean by that?
In the simplest possible way, imagine you're on a visit to the dentist. You flickered over the pages of the magazine in the waiting room, you've rung the bell, and now you're sitting in the dentist's chair. You've shown him the bad tooth. The dentist has seized his forceps. You're a big boy now, it's too late to go running home.
Do you know my dentist?
No!
What are you talking about, man?
This! Either you fall in with my plans tonight, or, to be honest with you, I make sure your employer knows exactly how you employ yourself.
No!
Now, what do you mean by that? No!
You wouldn't do it. You're a gentleman.
Not by anonymous letters or by bribing the servant. Though I do things like a gentleman, I do them.
You're contemptible.
I see.
And you're not ashamed?
Not at all.
Oh. Well, then there's nothing more to discuss. What exactly do you want me to do?
This, I want you to have the alternative way of your neck being broken. There's a very charming girl here tonight, and it's a matter of the greatest importance, which I can't explain, that you pretend to be in love with her.
I?
You! And that's not all. You've seen me in the arms of this girl, and in a fit of ungovernable jealousy, you box my ears.
I? You!
Let's put this incident on a proper footing. We duel in the spinney by moonlight with pistols! Don't worry, I'm a very good shot. I shan't hit you.
Oh!
Oh, you look the best in the land. You really do. You do really.
Do I, Capulet?
Really, you do. You couldn't have looked better in that dress. You were born in it.
It's my dreams come true. I feel as if I've been born in it.
No one can doubt it. But wait. I'll go find Madame.
Yes. man, would you kindly introduce the Countess Fionnella?
The Countess!
Fionnella!
Mr. Hugo!
Where's he running? What is it? Fire? Oh, let me see you, ma chérie. Maintenant, let's go. She looks quite wonderful. Let's go in and make a sensation. Oh, Hugo, you must be delighted to meet my oldest and dearest friend, the Countess Fionnella. Hugo, Countess, we knew each other in Italy.
It's a pleasure, Madame.
Come with me, my dear. We'll calculate. Do you remember Venice?
Yeah.
Do you remember Palestrini? Such a madman. Jaundice made an end of him. You have a daughter, is that so? What has that happened to her?
Oh, it's a very long story indeed.
Oh, you must tell me. We have the whole night ahead of us. Don't we, Hugo?
Here's the key, Mr. Hugo. So the lady could only have gotten out through the window, unless Madame opened the door herself. When she said the Countess Fionnella, I could have knocked myself down with one of her feathers. Oh, I beg your pardon.
For what?
I sat down. Quite an accident, sir. That hasn't happened to me before in 30 years.
Stop! Stop! Oh, stop it! Stop!
Stop what?
Everything! Stop everything! This time it's altogether calamitous. We're caught by the trap. We've fallen into the avalanche. High finance at its worst. Isabel must leave this house this moment, this very instant, or else I'm ruined.
What in the world are you raving about? Everyone's out of their minds tonight.
I'm a director of several sulfate companies and one pig iron company.
Yes, we know that, but what's that got to do with it?
That's why Isabel must leave this house at this very moment. Yes, powerful financial interests make it essential. Not a word. I can't explain. Maneuvers at the stock exchange. If your aunt won't help me, then she can go to the devil. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'd sooner have the scandal. I'd sooner upset her for life. I'd sooner any damn thing. I'm going to tell your aunt the whole truth immediately.
Tell my aunt. Just take a look at who she's introducing to everyone in the middle of the ballroom.
I'm too short-sighted. I can't see at this distance.
Put your glasses on, it's worth it.
Good heavens! What on earth is she doing? Am I dreaming or is that?
Yes, the Countess Fionnella. She used to revolve in the best Italian circles.
Is this you up to your tricks again?
No, but my aunt is up to hers.
But why?
No reason, which makes it serious.
Sir!
Sir?
As you refuse to give this young girl up of your own accord?
No, I won't have you making such a nuisance of yourself later on. Come on, Romanville, we've got to stop her from jumping into the lake.
All right! I'll come back!
Ambrosie Domiano Chilarati.
Yes, to me he was Poppy.
Fascinating. Il Papi il tuo padrino. Shall we find more champagne, mon petit chou?
Yes. Ooh.